Okay, magandang araw sa my dear students of Anders Aken ng CWTS, NSTP CWTS. So, we will conducting the lecture of Introduction to Philippine Constitution. So, ire-record ko na lang, then please kung naka-download man or naka-print out ang inyong handout, so please habang nile-lecture ko ay inyong basahin. Basahin ang inyong handout para sana maka sunod kayo sa aking lecture. Then, yun. Okay, so unahin natin itong what is Constitution. So, ano ba or saan ba nagsimula ang Constitution? So, ito ay isang instrumento. So, instrumento na ginawa ng mga mamamayan upang itatag o itakda at pakahulugan ang para pangunahing kapangyarihan ng ating pamahalaan. So, here, a constitution is a system for government codified as a written document which contains fundamental laws and principles. It usually contains the fundamental political principles and establishment, the structure, procedures, powers, and duties of the government. So, also this is a basis, principle, and law of a nation, state, or a social group. So, ito yung sinasabi niyang institusyon. So, ito yung pinakauna basis ng ating mga batas. So, next, the Constitution of the Philippines is the supreme law of the Philippines. So, kumbaga ito yung pinakamataas na ating mga batas. The Constitution currently in the effect was enacted in 1987. So, yun na sinasabi lang is 1987 Philippine Constitution during the administration of President Corazon C. Aquino and is popularly known as, sabi ko kanina, 1987 Philippine Constitution. So, Philippine Constitution law, experts recognize three previous constitution and as having effectively governed the country, the 1935 dapat or 935 Commonwealth Constitution or the 1973 Constitution and the 1986 Freedom Constitution for the Philippines were also adopted during the short by President Emilio Aguinaldo and Jose P. Laurel. So, sila yung mga kauna-unahang nag-draft ng ating Philippine Constitution. So, next, nature and purpose of Constitution. So, ano ba yung nature at ano ba ang purpose nito? So, lahat ng ating ginagawa, lahat ng ating pinagkakabalahan, so meron itong purpose. So, ang ating constitution din ay meron siyang purpose. So, number one, it served the supreme or fundamental law. So, sabi nga dito sa kanina, yung sa meaning niya is the basis of our law. So, number two, it established basic framework and underlying principle of government. So, next, constitutional law. Body of law derived from country written first constitution, it lays down and guides the duties and power of the government and the duties and rights of the citizen and residents. So, ito, sabi nga niya, it is the body of the law that the body of the law which defines the role, power, and structure of different entities within a state. So, and name executive. So, may mga executive law, or the parliamentary law or legislature law or yun siya sabi ng example nitong mga executive is the executive order. Yung mga under ng gawa dito sa executive is the executive order. So, the legislature is the mga city or municipal ordinance and judiciary. So, yan yung mga ibig sabihin ng ating constitutional by law. So, again, there was the different entities within the state, the executive, the parliament or legislature, and judiciary. Sila ang under dito kay constitutional law. So, dito, meron din siyang kind of constitution. So, number 1, as their origin and history. So, may mga history din siya. And then, as their form and as the manner of amending them. So, number 1 is typology of constitution. So, there is the conventional, or enacted, one of which is enacted by the Constitution Assembly or granted by a monarch to his subjects. So, ibig sabihin dito is the pinagtibay ng Assemblea. So, pinapatibay siya din ng Assemblea at dumaan ang conventional law or conventional constitution ay dumaan ito sa masistemang pamamaraan. So, ang conventional ay kayang matukoy kung saan nagmula ang isang batas. So, ito next is cumulative. So, cumulative, one of the product of the long period of development originating in customs, traditions, judicial decisions, etc., rather than from deliberate and formal enacted. So, example nito is the English Constitution. So, ito namang cumulative ay it is the result of legal evolution. So, resulta ng mga evolusyon. So, hindi naman ito nabuo sa formal or sa formal na pamamaraan. So, hindi kagaya ng conventional na sinabanggit ko kanina ay dumaan ito sa masistemang pamamaraan. So, itong cumulative naman ay dumaan naman ito sa isang assembly gaya ng conventional constitution. Okay, next. The Constitution may be classified as follows. So, meron din siyang sinasabing written constitution. So, ano ba yung written constitution? One which have been given definite form of a particular time used by a special constitution authority, a constitutional convention, or constitutional commission. So, yung written constitution is to yung pinaka-basis niya is yung mga nakasulat sa ating constitution. So, ang kabaliktaran naman niya ay ang unwritten constitution na ito ay karaniwang ginagamit ang ating mga pangalan nito? So, like that na sa mga batas. So, sabi niya, which of the entirely a product of political evolution consisting largely a mass of communication, mass of customs, usage, and judicial decision. So, yung mga ginagawa sa korte, sa mga ganyan, yun yung mga hindi yung iba is hindi nakasulat sa ating constitution. So, next. So, rigid or inelastic. So, one regarded as a document of special sanctity which cannot be amended or altered except by one or except by someone or except by some special machinery other than ordinary legislative process. So, itong rigid naman ay nangangailangan ng espesyal na proseso upang mabago ang bahagi o ang kaubuuan ng ating konstitusyon. So, example niya ay pagbuo ng Constitution Convention at Constitution Commission. So, next, one which process no higher legal authority than other laws and which may be altered by some way as other law. So, itong elastic ay kabaliktaran naman ng ating rigid constitution. So, maaring baguhin ang batas o ang buong konstitusyon sa pamamagitan lamang ng isang batas mula sa Kongreso. So, yan yung sasabi niyang flexible or elastic constitution. So, next. Pros and cons of a written constitution. Okay. It has the advantage of clearness and definiteness over an unwritten one. Since the written constitution is a binding document, the rights of the citizen is more secured. So, itong sinasabi niyang is written constitution ay nababasa or andun lang intact doon sa ating constitution. Yun yung kanyang advantage. Ang disadvantage naman ng written is its disadvantage lies in the difficulty and the amendment that prevent the immediate introduction of needed reforms and may thereby retard the healthy growth and process of the state. So, yan yung sinasabi niyang disadvantage ng ating written constitution. Difficultly, so na-difficult the amended. Next. So, ito naman, the requisite of the good written constitution. So, dapat kung ang ating konstitusyon na nakasulat ay dapat brief or because of a constitution, it's detailed, it will be loose and the advantage of a fundamental law, it will never been understood by the public. So, ang brief naman na sinasabi is kailangan madaling maunawaan ng mga nakakabasa. So, halimbawa, ako, dapat habang binabasa ko yung Constitution is dapat, unang basa ko pa lang is naiintindihan ko na agad. So, broad, dapat yung written constitution is dapat sakupin niya lahat. So, maluwang dapat ang kanyang nasasakop. So, definite naman ay sabi niya, wag namang maglagay ng mga ibang salita na may ibang kahulugan. So, yun. Sa paggagawa ng ating written constitution ay dapat wag maglagay ng mga double meaning. Yun yung sabi. Double meaning ng ating mga words. So, next. Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. So, the 1935 Constitution, so ratified on May 14, 1935. So, features. So, basahin ko na lang ito. So, established the Commonwealth Government. So, provided by the Democratic and Republican government. So, letter C is the inclusion of the Bill of Rights. So, ang ating 1973 Constitution naman, so, ratified. So, on January 17, 1973. So, features niya, establishment of modified parliamentary governments and the suspension of Bill of Rights. So, nasusinuspende niya ang Bill of Rights and has greater power of the executive department. So, binigyan niya ng mas malakas na power ang ating executive department. So, ito naman na ang ating Philippine 1987 Constitution. So, ratified on February 2, 1987. So kaya nga sinabi siyang 1987 Constitution. Nabuo siya noong 1987. So reinstitution of democratic government. So naging democratic government. So, separation of church and state, sovereignty of the people, reenact renunciation of war as the national policy. So, supremacy of civilian authority over the military. So, separation of power. So, dito sa ating 1987 Constitution ay mga may different departments tayo para mabigyan or mai-separate ng mga kanilang mga powers. Hindi kagaya noon na presidente lang or namumuno sa isang lugar ang may kapangyarihan. So next, the Constitution distinguished from statute. So number 1, the Constitution is legislation direct from the people. So nanggagaling ang legislation from people. So Constitution merely states the general framework of the law. Next, the Constitution is intended not merely to meet existing condition but govern the future. Next, the Constitution is supreme or fundamental law. So yan yung Constitution na nadi-distinguish galing sa ating statute. So statute naman, so a legislation from people representative. So every organization or every municipalities ay meron siyang representative. So sa ating mga gobyerno is meron yung mga sinasabi lang is representative. So sila yung nagtataon dito sa mga statute. So it provides the details of the subject of it treats. So yan, statute conforms to Constitution. Yan yung sinasabing statute. So ito. Next, parts of 1987. So basahin nyo na lang ito. So Article 1. So for this time is my last lecture is national territory. So dito sa ating national territory is meron tayong tatlong bahagya na nahati. The national territory comprises the Philippine archipelago within the islands and water embrace therein and all territories over which the Philippines has sovereignty or jurisdiction consist terrestrial, fluvial, and aerial domains, including the sea, the subsoil, the insular shelves, and the submarine areas. The waters around between the connecting the island of the archipelago regards in the breadth and dimension form part of internal waters and the Philippines. So sa atin dito sa Pilipinas, so may mga Philippine area of responsibility tayo. So itong sinasabi niyang aerial domains ay ito yung sinabi ng sa himpapawid natin. So terrestrial sa ating kalupaan at ang fluvial ay sa ating mga katubigan. So yun yung sinasabi ko kanina. So ang ating Pilipinas ay binabantayan ng ating AFP or Armed Forces of the Philippines. So sila yung bahala sa ating outside territory. So ating mga territory, national border. So binabantayan nila ang ating himpapawid, ating karagatan at ating kalupaan. So may mga organization, may different organization or sangay ng ating Armed Forces of the Philippines ang nagbabantay sa mga different territories. So halimbawa ang ating himpapawid. So meron tayong hukbong himpapawid dyan which is the hukbong himpapawid. Sila yung nagbabantay. So yung mga piloto or So, sila yung mga nagbabantay sa ating himpapawid. So, yung mga Air Force. So, sila, ang Air Force ang bahala sa ating mga himpapawid. At ang terrestrial naman sa ating mga kalupaan ay ang mga infantry units. And then, ang hukbong pandagat naman ay mga Navy. So, mga ganun yung mga nagbabantay. So, dyan nagtatapos ang aking lecture for this time. So, sana may natutunan at mag-advance reading lang kang mga iba. And then, to be followed na lang yung ibang lecture. So, ganito din, ile-lecture ko lang ganitong form. At ay, maraming salamat sa inyong pakikinig and ingat kayo palagi mga my dear students, and then God bless. Thank you.